Argentina up against the US. Rugby World Cup 2019. Nothing to play for in terms of progression to the knockout stages of this game. For this game, it's already decided that France and England are going to go through, both those teams unbeaten. Mathematically, no chance for either of these teams to make it. I suppose there is a third place spot up for grabs, which means automatic qualification for the next Rugby World Cup 2023. So yeah, I think more realistically, maybe realistically, US will have one eye on the final game to try and be getting a win. But I mean, it's a continental rival, I guess, North America, South America. So maybe they would like to at least give the Pumas a good run. And for Argentina, they will want to go out on a high rather than with a whimper. So it could go pretty messy. It could get a bit scrappy. There could be a bit of tension. I guess we'll wait and see. Historically, it's not been a great one for the US, having never beaten the Pumas the last five. It is Argentina 5-0. Although the last game, if this is correct, and I did check two sites, so it seems to be last game 2003. Which seems like a long time for teams that proximity-wise aren't that far from each other. So yeah, it's a bizarre one. In terms of the squads, I'll put them in the description so you guys can have a look. But as I mentioned with the table, neither side can go through. Argentina are 1 win and 2 losses. They are in third. America are still at the bottom of the group, but they have got a game in hand. So. The squads, Tuculet comes in at fullback for Argentina. Delguy moves up from the bench to the wing, and Carreras keeps his spot. He's a young up-and-coming talent, so I guess Ledesma's wanting to give him as many minutes as possible. De La Fuente continues on at 12, but Mallia, he's into the squad at 13. Sanchez is back from the doldrums. He's selected at 10. He was dropped for that key last game, but he is back for this one. And Ezcurra moves up to the starting role with Kubeli out injured. That means Medrano has come into the squad just for this one game, basically, and he is on the bench. The forwards, front row is Tetes, Chaparro, Montoya, and Medrano, so that's pretty much the same, except Medrano has come up from the bench. Petti and Alemanno are the second row, so there's no Lavanini with that red card in the last game, so Alemanno takes his spot from the bench. Matera is the only guy in the back row who continues on. The other two, Leguizamon and Bruni, are both new additions to the 23. The bench, Crevi, Vivas, Pietro, who's new to the 23 as well. Crema drops down to cover lock. Lezana keeps his spot on the bench, like I mentioned. Bertrano Udopageta moves down to the covering bench spot, and Moroni likewise as well. So a lot of changes. Good to see these guys get a game in their last game of the World Cup. And yeah, like I said, they'll be trying to go out with a bang. For the US, they've still got 2 games to go, so it's going to be a very different feeling for the World Cup from them. I mean, Argentina just played on Saturday, whereas the US played on the preceding Wednesday, so it's a kind of a differing situation again, but I guess that's just the scheduling of the World Cup. US squad, Tio's at 15, and I've really been impressed with him. Like, as I've seen more US rugby. I saw bits and pieces during the Pacific Nations Cup, but I've seen a lot, obviously, the World Cup, and Tio's looked pretty good. He's one of those guys that, some guys seem to have, like, the physique which looks like the stock standard rugby player, and then the other guys who don't look like they belong in that position. Like, I'm thinking Trevor Nyakane, he gets a lot of grief because he looks kind of out of shape, but the guy is immense. And Tio as well, he doesn't have like a Jesse Creel traditional 15 build, but man, is he good. I've been impressed with him anyway. Why am I going about guys' physiques? Don't know. Campbell moves to 13 for this one. Lasike is in at 12, so it's good to see him back. Braki moves to the wing from the midfield, and Scully retains his spot on the right wing as captain. McGinty's still on at 10, and Ruben De Haas is in at 9 from the bench. The forwards, Fry, Taufete'e, and Lamositele are the front row. Brackley, Peterson, the second row. Peterson's up from the bench. Lambourne, Hermgeis, and Dolan makes out the rest of the back row. There are a few additions to the squad for the bench. Olsberger, Hooley, and Landry are all new additions to the 23, and a few of the guys who started in the last one, or at least Josefo, is down from the starting match squad. So, yeah, never beaten the Pumas, have the Eagles, but they're not given a whole lot of chance here. Rugby Forecast, the algorithms got Argentina by 20. The bookies have got them by 22. But like I said, the US have still got 2 games to go. Got a point to prove before their tournament ends as well, because as I said, nobody can make it through apart from France and England. So yeah, Argentina with their last game. We'll see how they go. You guys let me know your thoughts on this one. How do you think it's going to go? And I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.